All right, now let's take a look at tenths and hundredths, fractions, and decimals. So when we look at this hundreds chart, you'll notice that there's part of it that is shaded. Now, if I was to ask you which fraction of this hundreds chart is shaded, but you would look at it and you would go, okay, so there's 10 in each column, so this is 10, 20, and then there's 3 left over, so 23 hundredths. So 23 over 100. 100 is our denominator because that's how many there are total, but 23 is our numerator because that's what part of our whole is shaded. Now think about the last video and think about how we read decimals. So if I was to say 23 hundredths and I wanted you to write it as a decimal, well, there's no whole that's shaded, so we put our 0 in the ones place value because we do not have one whole shaded. We only have parts. Well, what part is shaded? 23. So we read all of these, this one, this one, and this one, as 23 hundredths. So all three of these describe this picture here that we have drawn. Now, if we have 23, I'm just going to go ahead and erase this. All right, so if we have 23 hundredths, how many tenths do we have? And when I say how many tenths do we have, what I want to know is how many full tenths are shaded in. Well, we can look here and we can draw a line. There's 1 full tenth shaded. There's 2 full tenths shaded. So, if this says 23 hundredths, we know that this is equivalent to, so the same as, and I'm just going to write underneath because I ran out a bit of room, as 2 tenths. And how many hundredths do we have? So the hundredths would be the single ones on their own. 1, 2, 3. And 3 hundredths. Just like that. So we can break it down just how we would break down whole numbers. We can also break it down like this, our decimal numbers. And then we can also write it that way. Or if I wanted to write it as a fraction, which we're all very familiar with, we could write it this way.